Yo guys, Vita Carnis is back. I'm excited, it's been a minute. What's Vita Carnis? It's an analog horror by Darren Quilloy. We got the Trimmings, we got the Mimics, and we got some other creepy ass ones that just look like they just want to eat you and consume you. We got some big ones, we got some small ones. It's pretty much like a whole universe where these flesh monsters decide to just join us by consuming us and being part of our lifestyle. Now, in case you guys have not checked out my previous reactions on Vita Carnis, check it out in the description below. Check out Darren Quilloy for more. But guys, before we continue, which creature is your favorite out of the whole list of the Vita Carnis universe? My favorite, honestly, is the Trimmings. It's just something about them where they just dispose of everything. That would save me a lot of time. And we already getting hit with the warning. This video talks about and shows imagery of graphic content like flashing lights, gore, violence, death. Viewer discretion is advised. And also remember, all of this is just fiction, it's not real. So don't be over here like, oh, is this real? It's not, unless you want it to be. Okay, here we go.
Today something has happened within the restricted zone.
Is that the monoliths?
Large group of cultists have been apprehended. Several teams of military personnel have arrested some high-ranking cultists and have unmasked their identities to the public.
So cult leader apprehended. Military veteran Simon Vanguard found to be the head of the secret organization. Simon was arrested during a raid of Lamborough Mall, where he was found leading high-ranking cult members in a ritualistic sacrifice. Dang. Custody of Simon was handed over to police by Carcass, where he will face trial for his crime. Damn. So in the last video, I remember that we entered some kind of facility, and on another video, we also saw that they were using like some sort of like food seasoning to kind of learn more people, kind of like a brainwash type of thing. But I wonder if that's related with this as well. All right, let's keep going, guys.
High-ranking cultists and have unmasked their identities to the public. Shockingly, several of these members are well-renowned politicians and high-ranking members of multiple governments across the globe.
Many documents have been released providing sufficient proof of the atrocities that were being
all going to
committed.
prison.
Some of these crimes include
murder, kidnapping, torture,
ritual sacrifice, and the list goes on.
The members are found guilty of deliberately providing false information to the public in an attempt to cause harm.
The new trial company
cult conspiracy. Oh, that's it right there.
with cultist activities.
That's the flavor enhancer.
All new trial products have been deemed hazardous for consumption.
Hell no.
Farms are facing pressure to shut down.
Public unrest grows as the new trial.
Oh, like the mimics left unchecked.
That were hidden away to light.
The people are outraged by how little was actually being done.
They demand that something be done
Jesus.
to handle the Carnis species.
Still on the run. Fire's out of control as riots continue.
Our leaders were plotting against us. Who do we trust? What happens now?
So there's like all news reports on Vita Carnis. Ooh.
Welcome to Magister's Wonder Show.
All right.
I am the Magister, and get ready to explore all of the world's wonders.
Yeah, this is incredible.
Today, we are learning about the circle of life.
Oh, nice. Carcass. I wonder if there's like, ooh, Dr. Marshall Trudeau's head director and doctor of Carcass probably report. Verum
Test
Carnis.
report number 4. We still know very little about the nature of the entities. There are 7 singularities in total. Each singularity is roughly 1 meter in diameter. They are made of an unknown material, although it looks and feels very similar to glass.
Yo, this voice acting.
We are unable to sample it in fear of causing potential damage. The material is very dark in color, but has red shimmers of light swirling inside. There are some hints of other colors present, but is mostly dominated by the red. Each entity hovers above the ground in a stationary position.
Damn.
Although they can be moved with relative ease. Our equipment can detect some subtle pulses of energy in rhythmic but random patterns.
Oh, snap. We're gonna get a test? They got a whole lot of bass in there. Oh, shit. Yeah, I'm assuming like this is probably the lows. So there's a whole lot of sound frequency play going on here. You know how they say like there's some sound
We
frequencies
don't
where you
know
can't
what
hear?
they are. We don't know if it is breathing or communicating. We don't even truly know if they are even organic. This is nothing new, just confirming what we already know.
Okay.
Our first experiments didn't give any interesting leads. The most we got was some interference with electronics, especially when there is more than one kept close together. But the experiment we conducted showed extremely significant results. In test chamber 1, a live cow was released into the chamber with V1 for an extended period. They were left together for 24 hours.
Okay.
The test showed minimal results from the entity and an increase in stress from the cow. Next, the body of a cow was put into the chamber with V1 for 24 hours. The results were extraordinary.
Extraordinary. Yo, this is getting insane. It's like some SCP. I'm wondering if maybe it has to do with that frequency. Made it do. It just disintegrated. Look at that. Sheesh. What do you think is going on here? How's it doing
5
that?
hours after the whole body had been ingested, concentrations of crawl rapidly grew from several
Crawl.
points from within the chamber.
The crawl.
What this could mean, it rewrites everything we knew about the Vita Carnis species.
Yo. Corbin, the crawl is what it starts where everything begins from. Yo, that is insane. Insane.
First, a young larva hatches from within its egg. It will roam around and find food to help it grow and grow. Once they are big enough, they transform into a pupa. And after some more time, they transform into an adult beetle. The adult beetle will go out into the world in search of food.
Progress report for crawl samples. Cultivation has been successful. So far, we grew them with 3 specific environmental factors. 1 is our control group, 2 with access to additional nutrition sources, and 3 with exposure to radio signals.
This is nasty. Look at that growth, guys.
Group 1 grew on par with standard crawl samples. No distinct abnormalities.
And people grind
Group
that
2
up.
grew at a faster pace than the control group, as expected. No distinct abnormalities.
It's like a whole different shape compared to the other
Group 3
one.
grew against its normal pattern, weaving its
Okay.
way toward the radio.
Yo.
Once the device was claimed, it switched to usual growth patterns. Again, no distinct abnormalities.
So it adapts to whatever is
Conclusion,
surrounding. Like,
the samples that were grown in V1's test chamber don't seem to differ from others grown from other sources. Still, we will continue with more factors in further groups, just in case. There have been some developments in the propagation group.
look at that.
V1 samples have seemingly been able to produce nodules at a slightly quicker rate than wild samples. Control groups show that V1 samples begin node development a few days faster. More time will be needed to say for sure. As for the nodes themselves, there aren't any distinct abnormalities. We've successfully hatched a dozen Carnish juveniles, several trimmings,
The
2
trimmings.
meat snakes,
Times 7,
and
2
even
meat
1
snakes.
mimic. We will be sending
From
them to
that?
the enclosures after everyone's reports get sent out. End log.
Oh, hell no. They be farming then. Okay.
And then is
That's
ground into
insane.
a fine mint and is now ready for the garden.
Delicious. What is that? Is that the flavor enhancer? Trimming specialist.
Audio log. Progress report for trimming colony. Significant progress in learning the social patterns of a group of trimmings we have been keeping together. A new batch of juveniles were added to the main colony at the beginning of the new progress report.
So cute though.
They were accepted into the community immediately. No conflict or rejection observed. They did provide the circumstances to document more of their interactions.
Look at that movement.
Trimmings communicate through a series of vocal cues. Colony members meeting the new batch with squeaks and squeals.
Yeah, y'all remember those squeals.
They also are not afraid to show us when they are upset.
Oh, dear gosh, please
Trimmings
no.
also use some physical displays as well. For example, Trimmings do a chewing or chatter motion with their mouths when they are happy or interested in something. The experiment that we performed was
Yo,
to
look at
explore the
this.
extent of their communication skills.
Was that meatloaf?
The test went like this. We took one of the Trimmings and had them in place in a modified enclosure.
All right.
A speaker would play 2 separate audio cues. A positive cue would play, followed by a treat, and a negative cue, followed by a small spray of cold water. We did several rounds of both audio cues to condition the Trimmings' response.
This is crazy, guys. Look at this. Like, how did they put this together? So it's like, it's learning what the sounds mean. Like, where to look at, right? Yeah. But what happens when it starts showering it? It already starts backing up when he hears that. Even if it hasn't sprayed it
After the
yet.
test, the Trimming was released back to its colony. And after a few hours, we tested how much the Trimmings communicated. Another speaker was placed near the colony's enclosure, where we played the same audio cues.
Also, it's like they're all waiting for snacks. That's crazy. So it's like they hide when they hear the other one.
To see how layered their social interactions can be. Although, we tried something a bit bizarre.
What you mean by bizarre?
We found out that a wild colony had settled around the facility recently. It was strange what we did.
Yo, what they did. Don't tell me they made them
But it was
attack
a
each
long
other.
shot. We set up a radio device near the wild colony and near ours. We
Here we
linked
go.
both devices up and played the cues.
There's many dangers. There are many predators that would love to have beetles for a snack. And unfortunately, not all beetles make it. Yes, it is sad, but that's how the circle of life works. But look, one of the beetles has laid eggs. And once the beetle's eggs hatch, the beautiful cycle starts again.
That's crazy how they eat each other.
Continues on.
They eat themselves. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's what I got from that little bit right there. But yo, that was insane, okay? I didn't think we were gonna get more lore behind the Trimmings. Now I gotta rethink about them being my favorite. All right, guys, that wrapped up Vita Carnis' New Beginnings. And I like how they gave us like a whole little news report on how they, you know, they've been in the eye of the public to the point that now they're on breaking news, along with there being a secret world order. That's why I was like, what did the food enhancer really mean? Because you know how they were showing the pyramids, the triangles, all the weird symbols and the cultists and all that good stuff. But what I was not expecting was more Trimmings lore, more lore behind the Trimmings, on the crawl, on how it all begins. So you kind of see that now they adapt. So guys, for what I got from this was, are the Trimmings communicating with each other by telling each other what sound does what? If that makes sense. Because the other Trimmings that came in, they never heard the sound. They never heard the beep. So they wouldn't know exactly what the positive or negative sound would mean. From this, I'm taking that they communicate with each other, telling them what's going on. Because right when they heard the positive note, all of them, including the ones from the other colony, started looking for food. And then when they heard the negative sound, they hid. Are they actually that smart to communicate with each other? Kind of like ants. You know how ants also work the same way? And the Singularities, where they're over here like literally attaching themselves to objects and corpses, bodies, anything, turning them into the crawl, creating life all over again. Now that's some nasty ass work. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but let me know in the comments below what you think. Let me know if you guys enjoy this. If you guys have not caught my previous reactions on Vita Carnis. I got it right there in the links below. And also be sure to show some love to Darian Quilloy for always giving us this amazing content. This is downright creepy, and I'm really hoping for more lore. All right, guys, thank you so much for coming through. I love y'all, and I shall catch you guys on the next one. Be sure to catch your boy on Instagram, on the X, Twitter, on Discord, and I also have a Patreon for more reactions. Check it out, links below, and go check underneath your beds, in your closets, and behind your sofas, just in case there might be a mimic. Good night.